being gay or being part of the community. I would just try to
Wait, you're
give
gay?
my voice. Can you imagine? Gasp.
Because I've dated men. A lot of them were gay.
Believe it or
Sorry,
not.
boys.
Out
Excuse
it.
me. Every time I talk about being straight, something just...
Out it. She's like, man. Oh.
Ready for Cruise Dragon and Team X.
Ladies, germs, germettes, and everything in between. Welcome. Bienvenidos to the second episode of the third season. See, I got it right this time.
Wow.
All right? Don't get mad at me.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. It took me a long time. Of In Our Own World, baby. Woo! Thank you for those of you that tuned in for the first episode. It was chaotic, and it's only going to get worse from here. But today, before everything goes to hell in a handbasket, we are so thrilled and excited to have somebody that we both admire, respect, met in a, very low-key environment, and
Which is perfect.
which was perfect.
So perfect.
And we were both able to fall in love with what he does and who he is organically, which is the best way to get to know somebody's talent and
sure.
what they do. With no further ado, welcome to In Our Own World, the incredible Johann Vera.
Woo! Wow, I'm so excited. So excited. You guys are part of this. So obviously this was the first podcast and invitation I was going to take, because you have no idea how that important that night was for me. And I'm telling you both, it was first, let's tell the audience what happened.
I want to know what happened.
No. 2 years ago, I released a song August 22nd of this year, 2024. And I wrote the song August 22nd, 2 years ago.
Wow.
And I met you guys around the Billboard week time, which was
Yes.
probably 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So I just wrote this song, which we'll talk more about it. But, I went to Billboard week, the struggle as independent artists. We're pretty much figuring it out. I did the song kind of like as therapy or something, just for me. I was not going to show it or release it or anything. After the whole day at, all the charlas and everything that was going on in Billboard, there was this party. What was it? An after party for some artist.
Honestly, what I remember was talking to you and Simone, your friend.
Exactly. And we were just at the line trying to get in. Waiting, and we just start talking. We get along really well, and then we're both like, should we just leave? We're like, we don't want to go to this. Let's just go back to the hotel and have a drink. So that's what we did. We went to the bar. We went to have a drink, us four, with my friend Simone, and just started talking. And it was 5 minutes in or more, and it just got very personal and deep. And I don't know, I connected in a way that it doesn't happen. And then we started talking about even just birthdays. It's a day difference between
I know.
Em and I. Sagittarius.
December 4th, December 5th, baby. We're coming for you.
Exactly.
I feel like I should have
fire.
been here to split you guys up or something.
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, I know.
Literally. But I was like, you know what? Hearing their story, hearing what I was going through, which is still the process that I'm in. I can't believe 2 years after, I'm still going through all of this. And then you realize this is just something that I really hope is not for the rest of my life. That's what I'm fighting for.
Yeah.
But
That's the struggle, right?
That's
you
the
hope
struggle.
it's not for the rest of your life, but some things are out of your control,
exactly.
right? So making peace with that, duele. That's really, really
No,
hard.
you try to make peace, and then other stuff happens, or I just want to live a normal life. Really, that's it. It's about having the same sort of things. I felt I've always tried to be a very just, como una persona muy justa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even stuff that I see that it has nothing to do with being gay or being part of the community, I would just try to
Wait, you're
give
gay?
my voice. Can you imagine?
Gasp.
Gasp.
You know what? Good for the world, because you're so beautiful that everybody should be able to, enjoy it.
Oh.
We have to. Oh, thank you. I feel I've enjoyed it too much. I'm in that process.
No such thing.
That's good.
But it's good.
It's fun.
Exactly. Bueno, nos adelantamos. The topic that we were talking about was we met, we got along extremely well. I connected, and I say it not because I'm in your podcast.
I know.
But I was like, wow, I really want to show. Again, also, I feel I consider you such an amazing musician too, that I was like, and you have just a way of connecting with people and talking that I just, after 10 minutes, I was like, first of all, in those 10 minutes, I was already talking about my whole life. So after that, I was like, you know what? might as well show this song. And it was the first demo of the song. I haven't showed it before, so that's why it was so special, because after I saw like their connection with it and their reaction, and the main thing that it starts conversations, that after that we stayed talking for at least like 3 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
It
crazy.
was super late.
And honestly,
amazing.
I feel like we left to like be polite for each other because I could have stayed there.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, wow, we've been here for 3 hours, so we should probably like
No,
be
estamos
normal
molestando,
and leave.
No, but I felt
It
the
was-
same way, because I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God, it's them, and I'm here like
No,
talking
no.
about my whole life. But it was great because after hearing the song, you guys started telling me like, I went through this, and then it's like a way for me to share that. It opened a door that I haven't considered before, because before that I thought like, sexuality should not be a topic that I should touch in my music.
Right.
Because that's what
te
they
lo
told
dicen.
you, huh? Like-
That's what they say, yeah.
That's the conversation I heard less than a week ago before I was going to release again from my parents. It's like, you're ruining your career and all of this. So you get that, and you take it personal. You take it seriously. Like, it can be like a life death sort of situation as to like, this has been my dream for years. So obviously you want to take care of it and kind of do the right thing. But at the end of the day, what is the right thing in that sense? So I was like, so many like questions. But that night helped me so much as to like, maybe I should think about releasing it. It was a 2-year process, but here we are with a song.
Well, not only that, de verdad, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Second of all, everybody needs to go listen to Closet right now, which is the song that we're talking
Yes.
about.
So you at least
That
understand
he
what we're referring to.
so bravely released. And I also want to say, like as female queer humans, we have an experience that we do have similarities in, but I can only imagine, especially in the Latino world, what it is to be a queer male. I'm sure that comes with things that I could never understand.
Right.
Because, sometimes we experience, oh, well, you're just a gimmick. Like,
Right.
oh, 2 girls, that's so
Like
hot.
2 girls is hot. It's not
hot.
taken seriously. you
Right.
know?
And it's like, we'll validate our relationship, but we're not being met with the violence that some male homosexual people are met with. And it sucks. It's
You
and it
realize
doesn't
that like
always-
macho sort of thing from
Yeah.
like Latin.
Right.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't just say Latin. I just feel like in the world.
In
it's
the
still
world.
like, yeah.
In the world. In the world.
we are being in that world. I guess that's what I've seen represented in our community, and I wish that would change. I wish, Jem, you pointed out a line in his song that I would
The
love for you
last
to
line.
say. Yeah,
Salí de un closet que
nunca
nunca existía.
Que nunca existía.
that's the world that I would love for, if I have kids, for them to live in, where they don't have to come to me to announce their sexuality.
Right.
Whatever you are, you are. There's no preconceived walls that the world is building around you.
It's crazy because before even the song, I feel like I had this certain like rage as to like, why do I have to come out of this thing that I'm still the same person with like friends, but you do realize that you limit yourself. Like now that I'm out, I do feel honestly a bit more free, and it's crazy that you
love
you
that.
have to do that. I really don't understand why.
Yeah.
And you think 2024, because I also see like a lot of people saying like, oh my God, this is so like it's it's not necessary. You think that, but
no,
then
it still is.
again, that's why it was a process of 2 years, because for me it was like, okay, it's gonna be just something, it's my little gift for me, like I don't need to share it to the world.
And I think that's why it came out as perfectly as it did, because I really feel like you never lost the intimacy between your relationship to the song and like what you put out.
No, it was there was other writers in the room, but and that actually I love that there was the other writers, because it gave me that line of cómo hablar de algo que nunca han vivido.
Oof.
Because they would try, they were heterosexual, and they would try to like give an opinion and be like, oh, maybe this, and I'm like, no, it's not that feeling, and not in a bad way, like no, you don't get it, like it was more like you haven't lived it. So even though you're saying beautiful words and
Right.
it it sounds great melody, and it's not connecting to me because it's not what I'm going through, and that's why I feel like the song is so special. Every single line came out like it just happened. Like the process of writing this was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
But I needed 7 years of career and 2 years of being scared to like be able to release it. But the moment that I was there, it was like 30-40 minutes, just it was just like out. But this comes with 2 years of therapy, years of figuring out all my life situation and everything. I feel like it's so many things, but I really wish the song helps. I really wish it starts giving that perspective, which it has done, to like families and to straight people, as to like, you know what, maybe I can't really be calling someone fat because I haven't lived it. And yeah, like just have that thought as to like where, coming out of where, and like seeing that struggle as to like, the family issues, the losing the parents, the feeling bad about yourself for years, like all of that is said in the song. And then when someone that hasn't lived it listens to that, it's like, oh,
Right.
that happens. It's like, yeah, there's so many sides to it and so many like layers and things. It's crazy. I do wish people would stop with the coming out.
I think also like that fear that everybody instills in you of like, well, if this is your career, don't mix it with your sexuality because you're going to lose a bunch of fans. It's like,
Well, you live that too.
Right, but it's like, do you want those fans?
True.
Like that's the question. Like, okay, yeah, let's say you lose a bunch of fans and then you gain a bunch of
A community.
support, a community. You gain this community that you are helping because people listen to your work and now are going to connect to it. People that aren't where you are yet, who haven't done the therapy, who haven't done the work, that song is going to help them get there.
It has.
And you paid a lot of money in therapy
It's
to get this
expensive
song
as
out.
fuck. The song started as in therapy. It was me writing a letter to the Johann Chiquito to
like your inner child.
their inner child. That's to like heal, because again the process was so long and tedioso and like just like ugh. So, like at the end of therapy, it's like you just kind of have to work on yourself, like just not let other stuff affect you and, like be good with yourself. So it was like, let's write this letter to like your parents and to everything that's going on and like heal those things. And I was like, okay, I'll do all of this process. And, I finished the letter and I was like, okay, I'm going to the studio. Let's write a pop hit and, talk about like other stuff. And, we're at the studio
Joke's
and they're
on
like,
you.
And it's just at a studio, obviously they're like, no sé, like, I can't remember the word, and I really wish I remembered what was the word, that it was just like taladrándome en la cabeza when the writers would be saying it, that I just got to the point that I was like, we all need to stop. I was like, nope, let's go, let's think of something completely different. No sé, como, it was a love song, like la nena y como usando... Pero era algo específico. There was something specific that just took me somewhere that I was like, I'm just really not connecting to this. I was in a relationship with a guy for like a year already. Wow. And super in love with him. So talking about like, creo que era como los hips, como y el pelo, ni sé qué, y I was like,
no.
I was like, I mean, he has hair.
I want to talk about his hairy armpits.
Like, I'm not connecting to this.
Something I really don't connect to.
like
Okay.
soft skin. And I was like,
I have a question for you. I have a question for you, which Jem can actually speak on this. I have a song called Rains, and when I did the music video, because I've dated men, a lot of them were gay.
Believe it or
Sorry,
not.
boys.
out
Excuse
it.
me. Every time I talk about being straight, something just
Out it.
happens.
You're like, wow. She does not like that.
Anyway, woo, shake it off. So
She's like, man.
it's really
Straight
not like that.
Straight man.
It's really not like that, because Jem always gives me shit because I'm like, yo me enamoro de la persona, like the person that you are. The skin is the skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would I prefer it to have boobies and a big ass and
Yes.
pelo and hips? Of course. But anyway,
Yes.
so sorry. Just
La
disrespecting
persona.
anybody. What's happening to me? Like, I know for a fact now, 100%, that my preference is women. Like that's my truth. I prefer dating women. I had a music video where my quote unquote love interest was this hot dude, which didn't make any sense anyway, because look at me, what the fuck.
Oh, shut up. You're
But-
a hot dude. That's the thing.
Thanks, babe.
Thanks.
But I ended up like losing my mind in the video, and like anyway, the point is,
How long ago was this?
it was a while ago. I was like
Yeah.
19.
And you were like,
Before she was out.
okay.
Before I was out, right?
yeah.
So even in the comments of the video, people would be like, "What the
she's
hell?
so
She's so
uncomfortable."
gay." No, like, she's so gay. Oh my God, please, a guy that's so unbelievable, like that. Nobody would believe that. Watching it back now, I still stand by it. Because at the time it was a version of my truth, but I can see how disconnected I was from my work because I was trying to hide everything in like metaphors.
Like,
Or,
I'm
like-
not going to put a genre, or I'm not going
Right,
to talk.
or I'm not gonna say
Which
a
is
pronoun.
fine, but at the end of the day, it does limit your work, no? In some sort of way.
Or, what I learned, I mean, at least personally for me, the more of me I became, the more simplified my art became in the sense of the translation, right? So instead of saying like, you are a flower petal in my tunnel of love, I'd be like, girl, get over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the case
More
may be,
conversational
just-
and more direct and,
yeah, I
and
guess
Which
honest.
ends up making it more relatable too, because sometimes I think like we as artists maybe use other language to kind of like, I want to put the image out there, like I want to transmit the feeling, but I don't want to call it by its name. So I'll use the metaphor to satisfy myself to a certain extent, but then I don't want the audience to pick up on what I'm actually singing about. We can all relate to the fact that there's no right time to come out. Especially because of, and something that you were able to translate so beautifully in your song is, we don't feel like we're in a closet. The world tells us we're in a closet. We are just experiencing life firsthand. We're meeting a soul and falling in love and going through all of those changes and all of those motions. And it's later on, after we realize what's happening, that we're like, wow, crap, what do I do now? I can't imagine Billie Eilish as somebody who rose to such a level of fame so quickly, so young, what her experience was like with that question. She was coming from that space that we can all relate to, which is like, why do I have to say anything?
That's what I'm
just
saying.
showing
Also,
up as
she's like
myself.
new generation too.
Right.
New
Like,
generation.
it's a whole different sort of thing for
Right.
them.
Right. It is totally.
Which is great.
but-
Which I love that since the beginning, you know, like it's not like a disconnect fully in
Right,
her
it's not,
art.
it's
Like
not.
Billie, you know, always had her thing.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. You know, it's so different. Like Ricky Martin can, like it had to be, it's like a two different versions of a person because of the time that it was. Like now, she was able to be a bit more herself. For me, it was funny because people are like, oh, we knew, like obviously, like how you dress. And I'm like, yeah, I wasn't high. Like it's not like,
she wasn't hiding.
it's not a
No,
shocker.
and
Like it's not,
imagine-
hiding
Ricky, you brought up Ricky. Not only the time, the fact that he was so, you know, pinholed as in a moment by women as like this.
the sex symbol.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
The
like,
man of the heart.
Yeah.
That's like a whole other pressure that I
That
can't
he had
even
to like, you
imagine.
know, dress and like all do and be always like this. And then, you know,
Which,
Right.
by the
coming
way,
out feels like, no, now it's like a whole different person when,
And people feel like you lied to them
exactly.
because they're attached to that image of you.
And that even today when I was like responding to some questions, I was like, so now there's like a new person. Like now we're
No.
meeting the new Joe. And I'm like, no, we're in a different time. It's not like, for me, it's not, you know, a lot of the comments were like, we knew like this is not, should not be like a big thing. I'm like, I know. Like that's been my process of discovering. Like you guys, you know, I've been on social media for a while. And I've been in getting people involved. I went to a Pride, you know, 2021 and posted about it.
Right.
I'll go and start. I know clothing and stuff like that has nothing to do with your sexuality.
No.
But it's just, it's fun to like start expressing and just
Yes.
finding
Playing.
stuff. Exactly. To play on that side that I started doing without telling anyone. So it was like without having to make my statement.
Right.
So I would start trying with stuff, and I feel like I was able to do it because of the time that we were at. Like Billie was able to, you know, dress more herself, to talk without having to be like so specific in the songwriting. But obviously, it still gets to a part where she's like, you know what,
I'm just gonna say it.
I just want to do it, and yeah, like
That's what I loved. I feel like
Yeah.
she did it when she was ready in her way, which
sure.
I feel like no matter, that's what I love about breaking down those industry walls. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first for a lot of people, but you don't need to announce anything, honey. Like, date who you want to date and come date us. Well, listen, you brought up some questions. I don't know if you feel comfortable, but would you want to read some and maybe answer some here in space?
we could do that. Let's see if they're still there because.
That's okay if it's okay if they're.
Oh yeah, sing to
Let's
us.
see. There's like
He
a
has
lot.
endless questions. You see? Look
No,
at how
because
many
this is
people you're
happening
inspiring.
obviously like right now, which is crazy for me. Like I'm like, what? Wow.
But
That's
I
awesome.
love that. Look at you. You started a discourse. You started a space.
It's
where people
about
can be
conversation.
educated.
The amount of
Yes.
messages I'm getting as to like, I'm going through this. What can I do? And I'm like, at the end, you know, I'm not God. I can't help people in
No.
that certain way. But it just, I feel like maybe just telling the story or just letting the music speak for itself. It can, it's gonna connect and it's gonna help people in some way. It was crazy because people started coming out after the song and they got me involved and I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm the person to
You give
be
them support. You give them, you know, animo.
I was like that. I was like, wow, there's a pressure, but I'm just happy the song like got to that, and it is doing that, because what I really want it to happen is that we don't have to come out of anything or go through this process, which it's really, again, I'm living it, and it's, you know, you miss and you learn. Like, there's no right answer. I feel like I'm just going day by day as to like what to do, you know, still with the issues with family and still like figuring out the whole situation, but it's like, you know, it's done. So now you go from there.
You know, I think one of the coolest things about this conversation right now is the three of us are like in different places in our coming out journey. Because Emily actually came out with me. I was the girlfriend. The fact that I think I came out at the age that I did gave me some sort of an advantage in my adult life, because I was 14. I actually didn't come out. I never came out. I was outed by my father.
Oh,
He
Which
actually,
is the worst.
it was, I don't know.
Or it's
now.
a good thing.
Looking back now, I'm
I don't know. Because sometimes maybe you prefer just that, no? Like,
I don't think 14-year-old
all right, guys. What do you
me,
think? Let us know out there.
No.
Do you want to be
14
outed, or do you want to?
Yeah, no. Don't out anybody.
I was
Don't
kind of
out anybody.
outed too, though.
Well, but the thing is, I was 14
And it
years
sucks.
old, and it really did suck, because it was my dad reading my text messages.
I know.
And he literally sat across from me, and he just said, "I know you like girls," and I actually hadn't even admitted to myself that I liked girls. I mean, I was in a very big. People don't understand, like, homophobia exists in all of us. It's an after effect.
We have it too.
Yeah.
It's
We
crazy.
do.
That's
It's an
why
after
it's that. I've read this book. It changed my life. Velvet Rage. The first guy I went out with showed it to me. It's like that. We have that internalized homophobia. It's horrible. Like,
It's
you feel like
horrible.
you're flawed and you have an issue, but
Something's
then
wrong with you.
you know, you go through your life trying to like accept yourself, but because it's so like since you were a little kid, you know, and you just see and hear all those things, that's why, like, I don't know, in gay world, it's like best bodies, the best jobs, successful, they have to be the best to like compensate what this part where you feel like you're flawed. That's why it's even harder to have like a steady relationship and everything, because you feel like you're not worthy of it. It's like a whole
It's really tough.
thing.
And people think that because we live in this world now that it's a little bit more accepted, that it's like, oh, that's not a thing anymore. No, it's still a thing. We still go outside. We're a couple of almost 8 years, and we still hold hands. And we've been in spaces where we've let go. People
I still can't do
look.
it, to be honest.
It's not easy.
If you
not
are
easy.
affected by homophobia, please call 1-800-HOMO.
Oh, nice.
But it is very, and sí, es de uno, aparte.
Yeah.
And
it
just
is.
getting like I feel like that's a process that I've been through, and it's still going through it, as to like, I don't even know, it's so tough, you know. You can't do that, that's too gay, even
Yeah.
though, like, or you can no, like, bájale. And it's coming from me. It's not even, you know,
No. It's
other
nobody else.
stuff, but it's those little voices like in the head.
For me, I think also, like, that's what I love about getting to know the person that I am. Some days I'm so gay. I mean, like, some days I act one way, some
Right.
days I act another. They make me feel different emotions. They make me explore the spectrum of what it is to be a human being. Some days I like to feel like a beautiful woman. Some days I like to feel like a boy. Like, you know what I mean? It really depends. You know what I mean? And personally, I rock with that, you know, like flow like water. The ocean, you wake up one day in el mar and the waves are flat, and the next day the waves are huge, and the next day the beach is all the way to the shore, but it's still a fucking ocean, you guys. Like,
Yes. Oh, I
You know what I'm
love
saying?
that.
That was
We're all
good.
oceans.
you see.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
but it is super true. It is true.
So you want to answer a couple questions?
Let's see. I'm reading stuff. Look,
Read the
there's
questions.
a lot of stuff. Like, también tengo miedo de hacerlo, de salir del closet. ¿Cuándo te diste cuenta que estabas listo para decirle a tus padres? When was I ready to tell my parents? When I found someone that it was worth it for me to tell them. True. I don't know.
See,
She
that's
said
literally
that.
what I said.
Yeah.
That's literally my answer.
But it's also before that, because it was such a scary process. There's also stuff that happened before as a little kid that I can't say, because I don't want to like villainize my parents or
Yeah,
any of that. But there was stuff that made me be even more scared as to telling them or explaining them what was going on, or thoughts that I had. Like, the first guy I went out with was 22, but after a while I was still like, I need to figure out what's going on, because you know, when it happens at that late of an age, where I thought, you know, I had everything figured out. And then this was like, boom, wait a minute. A whole different side of life came in.
So interesting.
I was like, okay, because I can't go to my parents also and be like this, but then, you know, which can happen with the people too, like that. They'll call it like indecisiveness, or I don't know, but it's not really that. It's just how I see love now.
Yeah.
Also, like,
my
again,
perspective
if you
changed.
date a man and then you want to date a woman again, do it.
Exacto. Era eso, era entender eso. But my process with parents was, I'm going to tell them when there's someone that makes sense for me to talk about it.
So as somebody who, again, I didn't have the opportunity to come out myself, so my question is to both of you. Do you feel like that was you making a promise to yourself, or do you feel like that was more like, I'm gonna set this goalpost here, and that'll give me time before reaching it? Do you think that was just like...
For me, it was just that I was getting to know what I liked, and I didn't feel the need to share that with anybody before I personally wasn't sure. And then to his point, like, when I fell in love with you, it was something that was so sure to me that it didn't matter what anybody thought. What was more important was that you were the person that I was choosing to be with, and I wanted to bring into
your life,
my life, which is what becomes the issue. You know, like, then it's the problem. Then it's the problem. Then it's the problem. Then is that person accepted? So for me, it was just about preserving the fact that it was my world, and knowing that the moment that I tried to bring somebody else into it, I knew it was going to be a drama somehow. Yeah,
I want to say a couple of things regarding like that. First, for me, it was like, I feel like I self-sabotaged so many relationships before that could have been someone also amazing. But because of this process of like having to think, oh, I like them so much, but I'm going to have to go through this with family and with society and with people. I'm going to stop this right now. And that for me, I'm like,
sucks.
It really sucks. But I got this person that was like, so... It stayed. It was like strong. It was like a whole thing that it just got to the part that I was like, okay, I have to. It's time. There was some pressure, I'll say, on my partner. Well, my ex now, but my partner in that time, as to like, because I was living the other side, and I'm so happy I was able to see the other side of, to like, seeing a very loving, accepting family and a very beautiful process that
because
he
your
went
partner
through.
Was out already.
Yes. No, he went through it with me
with
too.
You.
But you know, with the mom and everything, it was like incredible. And they were so welcoming, the whole family, that I was like, this is amazing. You can have it. Now I want to have it with my family. That's why I feel like this has been even harder and tougher for me, because I've seen
that it's possible.
The rainbow, the nice side, the good side, and then obviously you want to see it with your family. And when you don't receive it, it's like,
it's horrible.
I feel like it's even, it's tougher in that sense, because, you know, I'm like, why would I be in this house where this person is not accepted at all? Can't even get close to the perimeters.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other side, you know, stay here as many days as you want, as you need. Let's travel the world. Let's go. Let's hours talking and everything. And then you're like, wow. This whole thing. And the only reason why I spoke to my parents was to have them closer.
Yeah. To your life.
Yes.
To close to my life, because it was already a year of like, how are you? Where are you? And I'm like, oh, I was, with friends.
Yeah.
I was, you know, in the other side of the world, in south of France. And I couldn't say with who, or anything.
It sucks. Feels like you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, to yourself, literally. It's not even to them. It's like you get, you know, I would go visit them, like super excited. And then it's like, oh, what have you been up to and all this? And you're like,
anxiety.
And then, you know, keeping the conversation short, the small talk, and I was like, come on, it's my parents.
Wow.
Like, I started the conversation like, look, I just want to be closer to you guys. This has been happening, and I'm super happy about it. So let's all be happy together. And then, it didn't happen like that. But, you know, it is what it is.
I'm sorry,
you know,
honestly.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's even if it's the most common thing for people of our kind. But, you know, for people who go through this experience, I think, like, more often than not, family is not happy about it. But even though that's common, it still sucks, and I'm still sorry.
I was just talking about that. I also how, like, many times you just get, like, you know, the first reaction being like sad or whatever, and then this, you know, the son, daughter, whatever, gets away, they get separated, and then the parents are like, well, I guess I'll have to accept it.
Okay.
And I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to.
So
mean that well.
I mentioned this a lot, and I had an episode when we were doing Red Table where I talked to my mom about some difficulties that I had in my journey. I always bring this up because one of my very best friends from college, Giuliano, he was gay, and he came out to his parents, and he always says this story. He says he told his dad he's gay, and he goes, "Do you accept me?" That word, "do you accept me?"
he accept.
And his dad goes, "No, like, accept you." He's like, "I love you because you're gay, because that's who you are. It's not like now this is some
In spite of the fact.
in spite of the, you know what I mean? It's not like now I'm learning this thing about you that you just bought off a shelf at Walmart. Like, you've loved this person the whole time.
The
You know
person,
it-
punto.
You know what I mean? And that's something that I've always thought is a powerful thing, especially like if you're a parent. I'm not a parent, but I'm a child on the other end of it. And we have these expectations for the people that we love because we want them to be happy with us,
And
you know,
proud
and that's
everything.
what hurts so bad. But not making it something that's like you're accepting, but just acknowledging like that's a beautiful part of you that I love. Like, you know, great. As long as the person that you're with treats you right, loves and respects you, and is in appropriate age, you know, like, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying?
True that. I actually want to share something because, again, this week the song has been out for 5 days, but it's been like so crazy, and a lot of the Hispanic culture, or I would say everyone, you know, try to use like God as to like this a way to weaponize like loving freely. So I actually went to a pastor to talk to him because I was like, you know what, again, this is a process that I'm still going at it as to like accepting and loving myself. I say it completely openly. I'm not there yet. So those comments and those things, it still affects. It's not like, oh, I'm super strong and I'm ready for it. It's been 5 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, and the prensa amarillista and those things in Ecuador, they're so behind, and it was so fun. It's so stupid. Like, they'll post articles, not tag me because they know, you know, I can be checking, and they'll put like el título con algo con Ricky Martin, pero de una manera amarillista, fea. Buscaban la foto más gay de Ricky Martin y la foto más gay mía. And I'm like, what are you trying to do with this? And this, I'm saying, like, periódicos como los más fuertes del país, like the strongest newspapers there. I'm like, you're making this a joke.
Yeah.
And it's so tough. So, point is, I go to the pastor because I was just like, I'm just here, tell me. And then he's like, you know, I'm not a moral compass here. Like, you know, the church is not here to be like, this good or this right. Like, no, it was great to talk to him. And he just said, you know, Dios está orgulloso de ti simplemente porque eres su hijo. Like, that's it. God is proud of you simply because you're his son. That's it. And that should be the same with parents. They don't need to look for like the biggest trophy and the biggest award and the biggest thing. They should just be proud because you were their son.
Also, nobody
You're
told
theirs.
you guys to bang and make us.
We didn't ask for this.
That's right. But exactly, they did it. And, you know, they brought this. We're extension of them. Just be proud of that. We're like alive and you know, be proud of that.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Que somos el
Whatever.
that's it. Orgulloso porque somos el hijo. And that for me was like, wow, that's punto. Because, you know, you're like, oh, am I wrong? Is this all that? And he's like, and the pastor was like, yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, you are wrong. But then he's like, I am wrong too. Like with, like, you know, the Bible says don't lie, don't do all of this. And, you know, we're all human.
Right.
Like, no one's perfect. No one can judge regarding any of this.
Regarding anything.
Like, regarding anything. At the end of the day, the main thing is, like, amar al prójimo y amar, you know, amar a Dios y todo esto. And it was just for me, like, okay. Pero eso que está, what you were saying about being proud y todo, me pareció como crazy. That's it. Me fui. Me fui. Other question?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
answer one more question, and then I have a couple questions.
Okay.
¿Tuviste esta charla pendiente con tu familia sobre tu vínculo con ellos y la sexualidad? I don't get it. So with this release, the problem is that it became very public the moment it was. I did not expect it to be like this. They actually said it was like a marketing thing. And I'm like, guys, seriously, I'm here like having the worst days of my life.
Yeah, people forget the human behind the artist.
And you really think I'm, you know, receiving the most horrible stuff from the people I love. And I'm just like, like, obviously it's not going to be a marketing thing. I'm feeling this for real. You know, I went to my parents' house excited to show the music video. I came out to them 2 years ago. I've been trying 2 years for them to meet my ex. They never did. Never wanted to even get close to it.
What did they say was the reason they didn't want to meet your ex?
Just didn't want to be a
They
part
don't
of any
wanna-
of this. That's I just posted something about it right now before starting. It's that side of like, well,
If you're gonna
you
do
know,
it, keep it out of here.
do your they would also use the worst words like desviaciones y tus cosas like this, like abajo intimidad, like we don't need to know or see any of this.
We don't want to know.
Do you feel like the next person that you fall in love with, if your parents continue to have that reaction, what would you do?
I don't know, because it's sad, and I don't want to villainize them. It's just
it's not about that.
just if you're a parent or something, or you're gonna have kids, just to see this other side as to like it really messes up relationships too. It
absolutely.
like, you know, I'm not gonna blame it fully, but it is a big part of it.
Absolutely.
It is. It gets so apart for the other person that is tiring. You know,
unfair,
2
too.
years and a half
Yeah.
as to like, you know,
And you can't
the other
share,
accepting,
like,
loving, traveling, and then the other side they can't even get close to the house.
Yeah.
Or be like around any of this. So it's like, and then you're in that internal fight as to like, okay, so
And what are
family,
you supposed to do? Not see your family?
You know, you want to stand up for your partner too, but at the same time, it's also your family, and you don't want to, you know, it's like, it's a very, very complicated situation.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
keep getting all these messages and all this like, oh, you know, it's so wrong for you to be doing with this parents and all this. And it's like, I didn't want any of this to be public. It just happened that before me releasing the video, I went to them. I was like, I spoke 3 days ago before, like, this is coming out. Any questions do you have? Let's go to therapy. Let's work it out. I want you guys to be okay and comfortable with this.
I love
No,
that.
nothing. Okay. The day before, same thing again. The day of, I'm like, guys, it's about to come out. It's not stopping.
like, I'm
tell
doing
me.
this. I'm doing this.
Tell me, what can we do?
Oh,
I'm here. Let's talk about it. The reason why I'm doing this and what I want to achieve. No, you're ruining your career, blah, blah, blah. They
No.
called me like pedophile, this and all of this. Just the crazy stuff that I was just like, that I was doing incest, comparing like being homosexual, comparing it to crazy stuff.
Which honestly,
So obviously
they don't probably even believe that. It's something they've been conditioned to believe.
yeah,
they
they're
don't
not the
even
most
know why they
religious
believe it.
person. You know,
Right.
I know they love me, and that's what I'm saying. I know it's gonna be fine. It's just, I really hope years on from now, people can avoid this or
Yeah.
have to go
Moment.
through this.
Yeah.
And that's why the song, and that's why I'm even sharing this to you guys, because I know it's like personal stuff.
It happens to all of us.
It's just for it to be like, it happens, and you know how to handle it. At the end of the day, the only thing you can do is look, give time, work on yourself, forgive, see it, everything from love, verlo todo desde el lado del amor, lo más importante. Lo que sea que yo esté recibiendo, por muy duro que fuera, I would try to see it from the side, like, it's coming from love. I know they're scared. I know they love me so much that they're just scared that the world is gonna, you know,
hurt
me. So that's why they're having this to sort of protect me. It might
Right,
not
but
be the
problem
right
is
way.
that's what hurts you more.
yeah.
What hurts you more is how the people closest to you react to the things you share with them, not the world, at least in my experience. And again, I keep referencing that Red Table episode I did with my mom, because that was, you keep saying like, oh my God, those were some of the worst days of my life. Like when that episode came out, I equally got people that were like, wow, you helped me come out, and people like, you're a fucking malagradecida.
Right.
I can't, like, what are you doing to your parents? Like with everything they give you. And then in my case, it's like, oh my God, you know, I have this privilege and this, you know, this way that people see me. And it's like, how dare you? You know, what was the other day? Somebody was like, what a shame. Your mom was so epic. Like, you suck.
People are always going to talk shit.
But anyway, the point is that,
I mean, that, let me just give you that preface as somebody who, okay, so I just turned 30 and I came out when I was 4. I know this.
I'm 2 years away.
But I came out when I was 14, and I can tell you, like, to this day, people still say terrible things to us, to me, to Emily. What's going to happen is what I already think that you realize is happening is you're going to get to the point where you're going to settle into yourself, and it's just going to slide off of you like butter. Because you're going to realize I'm on my journey and they're on their journey.
And their journey sucks. And my journey rocks.
My journey
Their
is
journey sucks.
I did not say that. Don't
My
quote
journey
me.
rocks.
I mean, I hope so. No. It's been, again, at the end of the day, you have to do it. I do feel better at just having, I feel like I haven't had interviews or opportunities to just talk like this and be like, after releasing the song, that was a promise I did to myself, just be open about it and vocal, because someone's going to connect with it. And why do I have to limit? At the end of the day, it's just going to connect more with my art and what I do, and someone's going to...
You can't fake real.
Exactly. And now more with
Thanks,
phones
Mom,
and
for that
everything
one.
that happens, the whole thing, I feel like what's making, people successful or anything is just authenticity.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it really, you can,
for real.
now you can really tell if there's something not fully authentic. And I think it's crazy.
I'm excited
great.
for your parents to find out about your OnlyFans launch. Mom
Joke.
and Dad. No.
No. Can you imagine? I mean,
I'm crazy.
Who cares?
Direct
I
all your
mean-
homophobia at me.
Oh my gosh.
No, but you know who gets fucking pissed? Esta. If they're
Good luck.
telling
If they say
me-
something
if
about
they're
her,
saying something
yeah.
bad
That
about
really
me,
pisses
she'll be
me
like,
off. No, they can say
smoke
whatever they
coming
want
out of
about
her
her.
face.
you're like,
Oh, I
and
wiped
what do
my
I tell
ass.
her? Those people are looking to piss you off. They're looking for your attention. And of 1,000 incredible comments,
I respond to the good
two
comments.
trolls who take that energy and respond to the people who are giving you love.
Okay, but what do you say all the time? A lot of times I've been able to change people's mind.
Yeah, but that's you. We're not all
Yeah, don't take my
beautiful
advice.
mind over here.
Do as I say, not as I do. I told you before we came in here, but I just want to say it again. Thank you truly, truly, truly for putting words to all of our feelings. Because watching that, I relived that experience for myself, of course. First of all, like I told you, you looked incredible. Let me just say that.
Second of all, lesbians in the video.
Oh,
Snaps.
yes, and
Yes.
thank you so much for including that representation. Because
and they're all everything that you see in video real.
was
So I
real.
think
Oh,
it's-
amazing!
yeah.
Real
Like they're not
lesbians.
acting. Yes.
No, for me it was super important as to
Oh, man.
that's why it's so everything
Came from your soul, your heart.
had to be honest, because again the song is so honest that I was like, there can't be a single gimmick.
I
Yeah.
love
thing.
that. I love that.
There can't be a single gimmick, because if not, you're gonna notice it. And I feel like that's why, I saw my little me,
Yeah.
and it was just I bawling, crying the whole time. I was just healing so much stuff with filming the video.
Yeah.
Since every scene that was regarding closet, it was me taking out everything. I couldn't do shots without being filled with emotions. I'm not sure if I can sing it, to be honest.
Live.
Yeah, because even just in Despierta America, you don't sing live, they just play the song.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if you can say that, but yeah.
You
No,
can-
yeah.
No, it's obviously, it's not live. Come
We've
on,
said
guys.
a lot worse for a lot less.
Yeah, those morning shows, because of sound and everything, you can't. And before that, they showed the Ricky Martin video. I obviously started crying so much because, again, it was
That's beautiful.
it was the day after I released it, so it was just so much happening. And then it was just bawling, crying. I'm like, if this is with lip singing it, how am I gonna do this when I have to perform it?
You're gonna you're gonna keep healing. And
It's keep healing. It's
connect to
therapy. That's what I'm
something-
saying. That's why this song is
something
so
powerful.
so personal.
There's something else that we would love to introduce you to that happens here while we're in space. By the way, how's been the non-gravity? Good?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here
Lightest you've ever
floaty,
been.
free.
I love it.
that.
It's great.
Que bueno. Your hair's standing up on its own. Look at that.
You see that? It's a safe place for sure.
No.
I feel good.
I love your hair, by the way. We were just talking about that. But anyway, there's something that we'd like to do here In Our Own World. That is, everybody's out of space. Everyone's looking at the coolest network in the whole fucking world. It's called Space News!
Oh,
So here,
what's that?
here in Our Own World, we like to update the people on what's going on up here in space, down on Earth. They don't care, but we tell them anyway. So this week in outer space, this is all 100% true.
Okay.
In honor of you being your most authentic self, we only say the truth.
Let's hear it.
All right. The Hubble telescope has observed an oddly organized satellite. Upon closer inspection, its name has now been revealed as Marie Kondo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What?
So real.
And that's for real? They named it Marie Kondo? Like,
100% real. All right.
no, obviously not.
100% real. All right. College student, Kazan Kitchen. This actually is real. Her name is Kitchen. Props to her. College student Kazan Kitchen is just 21 years old and has set a new record for Blue Origin, who has successfully launched the youngest woman beyond the Kármán line, aka almost into space. Carson said, and I quote, "I just wanted to get wasted for the first time in space."
She didn't say that, did she?
No.
She did.
No.
You guys suck.
Now I don't know what's real, what isn't.
Kazan, give me a call. All right. Lastly, NASA says 2 American astronauts who are stuck on the International Space Station will be brought back home on a SpaceX ship next year. Ugh, that sucks. They have responded with 2 words which are not happy birthday.
That's
And
also
this
not
has
real.
been Space News.
Not
Okay, so the first part of it is real.
There-
The
And then
ending
obviously
is
the end is
never
like,
real.
It's all
okay.
real. It's all real.
Yeah, when it got to Marie Kondo, I was like, wait a
Wait
minute.
a minute. Everything up until Marie Kondo, though.
Ah, makes sense.
man.
That's
It's
cool.
been an absolute honor and pleasure for having you here with us. Not only the fact that we almost share a birthday, December 4th, December 5th,
Here we go.
Hell freaking yeah.
but the way that we met was so beautiful and kismet, and we continue to have those amazing conversations. And before we came into film, Jem said, you know, we haven't seen you in a while, but I have a feeling we're going to be seeing you a lot more now because
Heck yeah.
I really hope so.
Oh, wow.
Because yes, we have to. Again, they're a big part of the song of everything that's happening.
what an honor.
So yeah, first place I was gonna fly and everything, but I was like, no, I'm staying. I'm going to space and visit them and thanking them in person and showing them the video and yeah, talking about the whole thing. So thank you guys.
We loved it. We appreciate it. Cheers to many more nights of ditching the club and drinks at the hotel bar.
We love it. So much
Preach
better
that.
than the club.
Oh, so much better.
Before we deorbit, is there anything you want to tell your fans and very lucky people that get to witness what you're up to?
Honestly, guys, thank you. Who's seen it has been part of the process. You know, when this happened with family and everything, my way of seeing that I had support, because that moment I had to be in the house. They literally said, get out of the house.
No.
And it was 5 minutes before the video was premiered. I told him, can I just show the video because I have to go live? Like the distributor asked me to go live before to know people that the song was coming out.
Yeah.
And it was like out. So I just went to like my childhood room upstairs, and it was like couldn't believe that this is such a big moment for me. I had to be there alone, but I was not alone. Thanks to everyone that just connected and was part of it and sent all the messages. And trust me, I'm reading and I'm replying, and everyone that's going through it. Thank you for just sharing your story and using the song for whatever you need in life right now. So that is extremely special. I was so scared of releasing the song, and yeah, receiving more love than hate is incredible. And thank you.
You deserve it.
Everybody, go check him out. Give him love and give us
Johann
love
Vera.
too, because we need it. Thank you.
Love you.
See you next time.
Ready for Crew Dragon and Team X.
In our own world.